This is Gail at Ladyfinger Sewing. Today I'm going to share with you how to cut out block number 28 from the Made and Found Quilt Along. Each week, every Thursday for 36 weeks, Made and Found Quilt Along issues a new pattern, and all of the patterns are of course rotary cut. They're all patchwork, and every block finishes at 9 inches. What I've chosen to do is create videos each week so that you know how to cut out each block using the AccuQuilt cutting system. So we'll start off by showing you what dies are used for this particular block. Now this is a 9 patch and this is a 9-inch finished block. So right away we know that each unit is going to measure 3 inches finished because 3 times 3 equals 9. So that helps us a lot in figuring out what dies we should be using. So all of the shapes that were used for this block come out of the 6-inch cube. So the first die that I'm going to share with you is it's die number 3 from the 6-inch cube, and it is a 3-inch finished half square triangle. And I've already cut this just to save us some time because there's a lot of dies we use this time around. So this is the color designation number 2, the larger of the 2 triangles that are used for this block. So again, that is die shape number 3 from the 6-inch cube. Next, we're using die number 8 from the 6-inch cube, which is a rectangle that's 2 by 3.5. So it'll finish at 1.5 by 3 inches, and you get 2 rectangles on this particular die board. We need 4 of them because this is going to be color designation number 3 for my block. So remember, when we're cutting things out, you want to keep the grain, the straight of grain, which is the grain direction with the least amount of stretch. That's what goes into the machine. So I'm lining that up. I need 4 rectangles, so I need 2 layers. Always remember to rub your mat instead of lifting. That makes things easier with less static. And there we go, we have our rectangles. Next, we are doing the smaller of the 2 sizes of half square triangles. So these are going to be the sky of the flying geese block, and also number 1 here in the corner units. So this is die number 5 from the 6-inch cube, and this is a 1.5-inch finished half square triangle. So since we need 2 colors of these, we have the small number 1 color designation in the diagram, and then also the color designation number 4, the smaller of the 2 of triangles, so they're all the same shape. So we need 2, 4, 6, 8 in color designation number 4, and that I'm doing in teal, in the teal dimples. And then what I'll consider my background fabric, which is a very pale blue, is color designation number 1 for those little triangles. We need 8 of each color. So since there are 4 triangles on the die board, we just need 2 layers from each color. And my grain line is going this way. Make sure everything's covered. Put the mat on top and feed it through the machine. Okay. All right, and we have a very humid day today, so sometimes things stick a little bit. So I have all my little teal triangles as well as all of my background colored triangles. And a couple of those got stuck. That will happen every once in a while. Don't worry about it. If you have 1 or 2 threads that just don't want to play nicely, just cut them. It's fine. Next, we have shape number 2 from your 6-inch cube, and this is a 1.5-inch finished square. So there are 4 squares on the die board, and we need 4 squares in the color designation number 4, which are the little corner squares that you see in the diagram. So I only need 1 layer in order to cut all those out. And since I have a selvage edge here, I know that is my straight of grain. the lengthwise grain that I want to be aware of when you're feeding the fabric through the machine. Okay, so there's our squares. And then we have shape number 4 from the 6-inch cube, and this is a 3-inch finished quarter square triangle. All right. So again, there's my grain line, my straight of grain, and remember, you line up that grain line with the edge of the die shape, not the die board. There is a difference. The dies are built this way for a reason. Some people say, oh, my dies are all crooked on my board. Why? Well, that's because it helps the machine work more effectively rather than a piece of metal going straight into the rollers of the machine. It's offset a little bit, and that just adds life to your dies, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to place, I just need 4 because that's actually see the little flying geese unit of the 1 and the 2 4s? Well, there's 4 of those partial units, and that's what we're cutting now. That is color designation number 1 on the quarter square triangle. So we just need 4, so that means 1 layer, and in she goes. Okay, so we have all of those guys. And then finally, this is die number 1 from the 6-inch cube, and this is a 3.5-inch square. So that is shape number 1. It is simply the center square. We only need 1 of those. So let's see, that's a stretchy, this is a straight of grain. And in it goes. Also remember as well, when you're setting your mat on top of your die board, it's good to offset it a little bit if you can. Instead of lining your mat exactly on the die every single time, you can scoot it around a little bit, and that way the blades won't hit the same part of your mat the same time every time you use it. So that just adds life to your mat. Okay, so there's our center square. And now I'm going to lay out the modules individually so that rather than lay out the whole block this time. So just to save a little time. So this is the center square. That's pretty obvious right there. Next we'll do the flying geese with the rectangle unit. So here we need the corners of the geese, and then this is considered the goose. Okay, and then that gets sewn to the rectangle. So that's 1 unit. You'll need to make 4 of those. So that is right here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Next, we have our corner unit, which is the larger of the 2 triangles that you just cut out. 2 of the smaller background triangles. Okay, and they will go here. And then finally the, for me, teal corner square. So that makes the corner unit. So you're gonna sew them just like the diagram tells you. You've made your 9 units, and then just sew them into rows, and then sew those rows together, and your block is complete. All right, I hope you've enjoyed watching. Be sure to join us on our Ladyfingers AccuQuilt Go Club Facebook page, as well as the Made and Found Facebook page. That's the main page for this quilt-along. Remember, there are 36 blocks in all. They started a long time ago because 1 block is released each week, and the quilt-along will go on through the end of October of 2024. If you're just starting out, don't worry. All of the patterns are available on the Ladyfingers AccuQuilt Go Club Facebook page under the Files section, as well as the Made and Found Facebook page under the Files section. And you can download them directly from the Ladyfingers website, which is ladyfingersewing.com. Be sure to follow us on YouTube if you would like to see the other videos I've shot so far for the Made and Found Quilt Along Challenge, and do subscribe to that so that you get notified when I post a new video. Okay? I hope you've enjoyed this, and we will see you next week. Thank you.